All right guys, today I want to talk about staying lean in the off season. So we all have our dieting phases, whether you're doing contest prep or just getting leaner. And then you approach into the off season looking to put on a lot of muscle mass, but what ends up happening to so many people is a lot of fat gain. Then you go back in your contest prep or your cutting and you end up at the same body weight with the same look and you're thinking, what did I do wrong? What happened? I think a lot of people just add too much fat into the off season for a number of reasons. The first one, you want to make sure that you have good tracking tools from the very beginning. So we're definitely through pictures. So I think pictures are number one to really compare over time, over several months or even week to week, to make sure you're not adding a lot of body fat on. Muscle mass gain comes very slow. So you're not going to be packing on 20 pounds of muscle in a month. That's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. So it is good to have pictures from your very beginning to over each month to look back and see where you're really seeing that change happen. Another good tool to use that can be more objective is just a tape measure. You know, measure your waist. Is it increasing? Well, that might give you some idea of where you're adding your fat gain. Is your arms increasing? Are your legs increasing? You know, are you adding muscle tissue to the areas that you want to? All that's really important to know. So using a tape measure is a great another tool to use. Even using a body fat caliper can be a good objective measure. You know, to be consistent with the sites that you're measuring, knowing if those skin folds are increasing. So if you're seeing your scale go up, your skin fold's not increasing, you're seeing inches increases on your legs and arms and your waist staying the same, well then you have a lot of data to put together, say like, all right, I'm putting some lean muscle on. So use all those tools to track from the beginning as you progress in the off season. Next would be when you're setting up your diet. You should have a good maintenance calorie that you're going from. Don't jump into something that's too calorie heavy. Start with just a mild like 10% increase and see how you progress. Leave it there for a couple weeks. See if all those objective measures that I talked about are increasing or if they're increasing too quickly. If you're noticing in your pictures you're getting a little bit softer, back down 5% of your calories or go the other way. Add another 5% in and keep increasing that way. Definitely don't chase the scale. That's why I see a lot of people make a mistake on. They add too many calories in too quickly and they're looking at that scale number. They have a number in mind to hit and the calorie increases are too fast. You end up putting on too much fat gain. Also, you want to make sure that you're planning out your cheat meals appropriately. So cheat meals will add a lot of calories into the diet, and if they're not accounted for properly, that cheat meal is going to stick to you all week, and then you're going back to a calorie surplus the next day after your cheat night, and you're just going to keep gaining more body fat from then. Also, you have decreases in insulin sensitivity, which is going to further cause a greater partitioning of those calories to fat gain and not to muscle. So to stay lean, really manage your cheat meals well. So I think you can have cheat meals and make it fit your macros sometimes. If you're planning on having a pizza and burger every weekend, some people can do that, but for a lot of people you can't. So you have to just use yourself as an individual and realize what you're able to do. The leaner, I want to say, I know personally for myself, like maybe once a month or every 6 weeks I can have something that's really calorie dense like that. Or I just have to watch my portions, you know, limit to like 500-600 calories for that meal, or even taking 2 meals of my normal diet and letting that count into my cheat meal. You know, it will vary per person. Some people I know that can have more frequent cheat meals, but you know, be realistic with what your goals, and if you're putting body fat on, start pulling back on your cheat meals. You can definitely have a cheat meal too that's just like a lean steak and potato, you know, something that's more reasonable. Also in the off season, cycling your calories. So I know some guys will have their training day and their off day be at the same calorie level, but of course your energy expenditure level is going to be different for those days. So in your off days you won't have that training session. You might need to account for cardio or even what your activity level will be for the day. So for my weight training days, I'll definitely will have more carbohydrates on the day because I'm going to be burning more carbohydrates during my training. My off days, I'll take those out and it'll definitely be less. Depending on how your diet's set up, it might be as simple as just removing your pre, intra, and post-workout from your training days, and that can be your off day, and that will already account for those changes in macronutrients. So those cycling calories can be a good way because you don't want your off days to be so high in calories and it's end up going to fat, just gaining as fat. I do believe though your off day should not be in a calorie deficit because it's still aiding in your recovery. So you don't want your calories low, but at least that maintenance or just a slight surplus on those days. Also in the off season, it's not a time to lay back on training. This is time when you have optimized recovery. You have all the nutrition in place, you should have better sleep in place. Really train hard and give yourself the rest days too. I think people like that they're in the off season, they want to train more. You still need your rest days, but be progressive in your training. So try to definitely get stronger over time. You know, don't just go in the gym and do the same thing and don't have a plan laid out. You know, write down your workouts, have a logbook, make sure your lifts are moving. So if you can put all that data at the, you know, when you're looking at your progress update, you have your pictures in front of you, your measurements, your caliper sites, you have your weights in the gym, and if everything's moving in the right direction, you can have a really good idea that you are putting on lean tissue and you're minimizing fat gain. So to review, guys, make sure you have good measurement tools in place. Make sure that you're not overdoing the calories surplus in the beginning. Make sure you are tracking your macronutrients and being flexible in that approach. Use these tips, formulate your program, monitor progress the way you should, and stay lean. Next time you cut down or have a contest prep, you should see some good improvements in muscle size. Any comments or questions, make sure you leave them below. You can check out my contest prep series by clicking the video here. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you next time.